Well, you've only missed about a lap and a quarter under green, and here is Martin sliding up, and Dale Earnhardt taking the lead, and Rusty Wallace taking second.
I think Mark's car was pushing a little bit, and he's having to slow down a little bit more in the turns than Earnhardt. Here's the Rudd.
Spins in 4, brings the car to the inside, almost slides into a passenger car down there, and scattering everybody. Obviously, you couldn't get the car stopped. Boy, that was close. I don't know what kind of a car that is down there, but it looks like a foreign exotic job that probably costs as much as the race car.
It shouldn't be parked there, obviously.
Looks like Jeff Gordon and Michael Waltrip may have gotten laps back as they crossed the line. What kind of a car is that, you know?
Oh, it's like a spider. What is a spider?
I don't know. It's a thing with 8 legs as far as I know. Anyway. Here it is again. Watch Rudd as he went into the 3rd corner.
He's on the outside. Is that Brett Bodine?
Yeah.
He goes down, and they just make some contact. And around Rudd goes up, smacks the wall. Comes down. He lets off the brakes now. He's going to drive it back to the pits, and all of a sudden the thing goes out of control again for some reason and heads right for that little car. Man.
A couple of photographers there, about 4 of them, have to scatter out of the way.
And just before that happened, here is how Earnhardt got the lead, and Rusty went to second.
He goes in, gets in the back of Mark Martin. Martin has to go up the hill to save the race car, and Earnhardt and Rusty both able to get by.
So that's the way they are now, lined up behind the pace car, as the wrecker has arrived at Ricky Rudd's car to pull it from the racing surface. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, the race teams have brought out their heavy artillery for this one, but you need this on a day like today, huh, here at Bristol?
I'll tell you, yeah, that's not a tank, I don't guess, but you probably do need something like that out there.
Some kind of amphibious vehicle, I would guess. Part of the Persian Gulf War, maybe. Anyway, it's parked down here between turns 1 and 2, and
there's Rudd's car being towed back to the behind pit wall.
See quite a bit of damage to the left rear of the Tide Chevrolet.
Meanwhile, we are about to go green once again with 372 laps completed. And the enthusiastic race fans, as they always are here at Bristol, are enjoying a great race. Here is Dale Earnhardt leading Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Davey Allison, and Darrell Waltrip, who is 5th. Can you believe that?
No, I really can't. Now starting 35th and fitting on the back.
Now, none of them made pit stops, the leaders at least. So that indicates that they are planning to go the rest of the way. They got something got enough fuel to go the rest of the way.
Rusty Wallace is about to take the lead from Earnhardt. Tried to get it down the backstretch. Rusty has the preferred inside line and takes the lead back from Dale.
This looks like 89 and 90 all over again, Ned, doesn't it?
It sure does. We saw those guys race many, many times, battle back and forth.
And it just follows up the comment that we had during last week's race, and that is black is black. Not necessarily Earnhardt black, but Rusty Wallace black as well, and Davey Allison. Jerry?
Richard Childers just told me that Earnhardt's car seems to be a little bit tight on brand new tires. They put tires on about 20 laps ago. You need about 30 to 40, even closer to 50 laps for the car really to come in and get some of that push out. So right now, he's battling a little bit of a push in the corner.
We're inside Martin's car, and we still see the hood where it's pushed up. He made contact early, and he goes right by Earnhardt.
Easily.
Just goes right by.
Martin is second.
I think Earnhardt's car maybe did push up a little too high off of turn 4, and Martin took advantage of it.
Rusty is checking out.
Ned, you reckon that Earnhardt could have moved over and let Martin go because of getting into him a few laps ago?
Well, I don't know. Could be.
Sure looks that way.
Certainly didn't race him.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And they did make some when Earnhardt got by before. There was some contact.
Yeah, he could have just gentlemanly moved over and let him go. Because Martin is faster right now than Earnhardt. You see he's able to pull away a little bit once he got around.
Now the next question, can that blue and white car catch the black car?
I believe he can.
And Ricky Rudd has gone over to talk with the Brett Bodine pit crew. There was contact between those two drivers, causing Rudd's car to hit the wall, and obviously tempers again running a little high here as Ricky has gone over to talk with the Kenny Goldstein-led and owned team.
Tell you what, looks like Mark is getting a little closer, just a little closer.
Here's a Fram field summary. There you see Darrell Waltrip in 5th position, Kyle Petty 6th, Derek Cope 7th. There are 9 cars on the lead lap. Here are Allison, Waltrip, and Kyle Petty.
Ernie Irvin going back out once again. And Kyle Petty moves on the inside of Darrell Waltrip and just takes the position.
So he moves to 5th.
Puts Darrell back in 6th place.
Ernie Irvin is back out there. You can see running very slow.
Oh, and a crash up in turn 1.
2 cars.
Contact Bobby Labonte
and Harry Gant. And again, we are slowed because of a crash.
Is that the 15th, 16th caution?
I believe it's 15.
15 caution plates.
The record, of course, is here at Bristol. It's 20. And I'm not so sure but what we won't come close to equaling that or breaking it today. We've got a little over 100 laps to go. Anyway, Bobby Labonte's car, the Maxwell House Ford, is heavily damaged on just about all 4 corners, it looks like.
Yeah, both ends certainly, and yeah, every corner of it.
Harry Gant was also involved. The pace car has the field lined up. We'll see if we have any pit stops.
Yep,
yes.
we are.
Comes Rusty.
Yep.
Here they all come.
Yep.
Yeah, once the leader comes in, they got to come in and get those tires.
Here's Jerry Punch to call this series of pit stops.
And Ned, you're exactly right. Once Rusty Wallace makes a determination to come on the pit road, the other top cars are pretty much obligated to follow him down. Here's Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. He will get 4 tires. Sitting about 30 feet behind him, the Goodrich Chevrolet of Earnhardt. Right behind him, Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford. The front 3 cars now getting left side tires. We'll see who's going to win this race off pit road. Martin's lug nut on. Here's Rusty Wallace. 17.1 seconds. Davey Allison comes down. Here is Kyle Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Mark Martin now leaving his pits and headed back to turn 1.
Hey, we haven't had the clock on this crew right here, Davey Allison, but they've made some fantastic pit
Yeah,
stops
remember
today.
earlier in the race, they had some excellent pit stops.
They have made some great pit stops. You know,
16.8 on Davey, John, is that right?
That's exactly right, Bob. 16.86 if you want to get into the hundredths of a second. Now, earlier I told you the last pit stop when the jack man fell over the tire, that slowed that pit stop down. But the 2 previous pit stops under caution, they had picked up 8 positions going from 11th place all the way up to 3rd place. So Davey Allison has moved up to 2nd by virtue of a very fast pit stop. Rusty Wallace leading here at Bristol. We will be back with more in a moment.
Dr. Jerry's Harley Davidson. I didn't know you owned a Harley Davidson store in Sharon, Pennsylvania, Dr. Jerry, but the t-shirt says you do. That must be another Dr. Jerry. Getting ready for a restart. Here's Davey's pit stall.
that's a huge advantage because, you see, we've seen the cars get blocked in. It's impossible for Davey to get blocked in. There's an opening there. Plus, the 2 cars that were pitting in front of him are out of the race. Yep. He can drive. You could drive a Mack truck out of there almost.
Got all kinds of room. About to go racing again on lap 392 with 391 complete. There's the capacity crowd looking on as the green flies again, and Rusty Wallace jumps to the lead quickly. Davey is now 2nd, followed by Kyle Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Mark Martin.
You know, all over most of the United States, Good Friday is a holiday. In North Carolina, it's Monday that's a holiday. But neither one of those days is going to be a holiday at Jack Roush's shop in Liberty. They're going to be practicing pit stops. Rusty's just driving away from Davey.
Yeah, he is.
You know, Rusty's really getting a break because his primary competition